Hello, my friends. Hope you are all doing well. I just want to make sure I'm up live on the other side of the screen and can read your beautiful comments, because we all know that it was kind of a little messed up last week. So looks like we are good to go. Happy Tuesday, my friends. Today is Tuesday, September 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we are live right here on Facebook. So if you do see that little live button in the top left-hand corner of your screen, you are catching me live. At least it looks like it's there this week. We don't know. It wasn't there last week. So as you come in, say hello, and that way I can see your beautiful comments. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tammy Civello, and welcome to Cards by TLC. And it looks a little glitchy on my end. Hopefully it's not too bad for you on your end. Good morning, Peggy. Welcome in, and welcome to another episode of Teach It Tuesday with Tammy and Jenny. This week is Fun Fold Week. We always like to do a Fun Fold every month, so it is Fun Fold Week. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I love a good Fun Fold. This one I had never tried. It intimidated me. It is a fan card, and I absolutely love the look of this. It really focuses on designer paper and sentiments and keeping things like really heavily designer series papered project wise. Oh, you were off school this week. Well, thank you for joining me. I'm glad you are able to catch us live. So again, this week we are doing fun folds and Christmas themed cards. Jenny has an amazing fold. I cannot wait to see that, because that one I got a sneak peek and it is gorgeous, and it is going on my list of things that are gonna be in my future. Good morning, Jennifer, and good morning, Jenny, and good morning, Peggy. Good morning, my friends. So that is what we are creating today, this gorgeous fan card, and I'm telling you, the sky is the limit with this fold. It looked more complicated than what it actually turned out to be. And I hope that my instructions on breaking things down on the way my brain works will make things a lot easier for you. There's a lot of dimensions to jot down. So if you don't feel like jotting them down today, that is perfectly fine. It will be on my blog post tomorrow, September 10th at cardsbytlc.com. So you can head over there and get all the sizes and dimensions. But we are using the Traditions Labels bundle paired with the Traditions of Christmas designer paper. So I wanted to use a designer paper that is really beautiful, like on the different tones, like pairing them up on the tones and stuff like that. Apparently I cannot get words out today. Good morning, Jean. Welcome in. So I used this designer paper. It has both the traditional colors as well as non-traditional colors. As you can see, I went the non-traditional route, but it would be really, really pretty to play on the traditional colors. And I think I might do one with this pattern after the live. Stay tuned for my social media. I'm going to play with this. I really wanted to do Thanksgiving. However, those supplies are coming today. So stay tuned on my social medias. You'll be able to see all different varieties. So let's go ahead and get started on everything. Look how beautiful this paper is. Absolutely gorgeous. You have some really pretty florals on the Christmas florals on the front, and then you have non-traditional colors on the back that you can use for like masculine cards, a Christmas card, more masculine cards over here on these patterns. So I absolutely love the B-sides on those as well. So let us get started. Like I said, there's going to be lots of moving parts and pieces. I will go over them pretty slowly so you guys understand. So we are starting off with our card base in Pretty in Pink. And this is a standard card base, and that is 5.5 by 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So that is our standard card base. For the inside of our card, let me go ahead and open this up and kind of like explain it as I go. So for the inside of the card, we have a pool party panel piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. We have a basic white piece at 3 3/4 by 5 that we're going to be cutting that down. And then on the front, we have another pool party piece that we're going to be cutting down at 4 by 5 1/4. We have our designer paper piece that is going on the front, and this piece is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. So that is like the front piece of it. The fan pieces, or the triangle pieces, what I'd like to call, we're going to be, for the larger triangle piece, this back piece right here, you're going to be needing a Pretty in Pink color, and this piece is cut at 3.5 by 4 3/4. You need a layer of a layering up of the triangle, and we're using Pool Party again, and this is 3 1/4 by 4.5. And then we need a contrast designer paper, which I love how those kind of all come together and marry together really nicely. And this piece is cut at 3 by 4 1/4. And then for our smaller triangle piece right here, we're gonna, the pink piece, the pink triangle in the back, is what we trimmed off of the cardstock, and I'll go over that. And then we'll have another Pool Party piece that is cut at 1 3/4 by 5. And then our designer paper piece, 1.5 by 4 3/4. And then I pre-cut out this banner from the Traditional Labels dies. I absolutely love the sentiments on this, the fonts on this, and look at the labels. I mean, come on. I will never get rid of this. I love any bundle that has labels and shapes and all the things. I never get rid of them. I always hang on to them. So let's go ahead and get started on the cutting part of it and the building part of it. So first and foremost, you also need a pencil because we're going to be making tick marks and cutting at angles. So let's bring in our little trimmer. And we are going to line our cardstock up right at where it would cut your designer paper. So lining up at the end of that track, we're going to take our pencil and let's line this back up. We are going to take our pencil, and at the 2-inch mark, we are going to make a tick mark right here. And then now we're going to take that tick mark and we're going to line it up in our track. And we're going to turn our cardstock to where, let me pull this up because I want you guys to be able to see this. Oh. Hold on, I'm going to let the video catch up. Did you guys catch that? It looks like that the video hitched on that. So, I'm going to stop right here. And if you guys can, I know that there's a delay. If you guys can comment on me. It keeps spinning on my end. Damn. Come on, Facebook. There was a slight delay. Okay. Is it spinning now? I see it spinning on my end. I'm just going to wait on your comments. Okay. Were you guys able, okay, see myself back. Were you guys able to see where I made the tick mark. I just want to make, not spinning on your end. Okay, it was spinning on my end, so I just wanted to make sure. So you guys did see the tick mark. Okay, fine on, okay, good. It was spinning on my end and I wanted to make sure. Okay, good to go. Okay, so we have our tick mark. I just didn't want to keep going if it all get cut off. So we're going to line that tick mark up in our track right here and line it at an angle. So that is where that is at. And we have the end angle piece of our cardstock. And anytime I cut at an angle, I always like to start in the middle because I don't want to mess up the cardstock. So we are gonna cut our triangle piece off right here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and erase my pencil mark. Okay. So we're going to put this aside. This is the smaller fan. So I'm just going to put it off to the side. We're going to use that in a minute. So there is that piece. And this is what our card base looks like at the moment. We are going to leave the pool party panel. And that's just going to go there on the inside. We'll glue everything down in a bit. We're going to take our piece of 3 3/3 by 5, and we are going to do the exact same thing on the inside. So I'm going to line that up where that lines up at the track, make a little tick mark, light little tick mark, and do the exact same thing. Line up the tick mark and the point of the panel piece. And we're going to make sure that you're in there. Okay. And you do not need this piece. You can keep this piece if you would like for a future project, but we do not need this piece. So you can put it aside for a future project and do whatever you would like. But we are going to go ahead and erase that mark. And this is going to go on the inside. We're cutting all of our pieces first and foremost. Okay, next up is our front section of our card. We're going to be working on this piece right here. Perfect. Great. You didn't see me make the tick mark, okay? On which part, Jenny? On the front of the card. For the front of the card, we lined this up and marked it at the 2-inch mark with the tick mark and then cut that at an angle. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, now we're going to go ahead on the front of the card. We're going to take that, continue doing exactly what we've been doing. We're going to take our 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece and we are going to line that up on the track, just outside of the track, and mark our little 2-inch mark at our tick mark. And again, do the exact same thing that we've been doing. See a pattern here? Just to make things easier. And this piece you do not need. You can save it for another project. Okay. Then we are pulling in our 3 3/4 by 5 piece of designer paper and doing the exact same thing. We are just working on the front part of our card. We have not started the fan pieces yet. So I'm just going to make a little line right there. Line that up, pull my cutting blade up so I'm not crunching up those corners. And so now we have our layered pieces, and again, you can save this for another project. Okay, then see how it just layers up on the front of the card. We have the inside card right now, And then we have our 2 layers that we did our cutting, like so. And then now we're going to go ahead and start working on the fan pieces. So we're going to start with the larger fan piece right here, this piece right here. So we have our for our large, let me get the proper amount here. Our pretty in pink is 3.5 by 4 3/4. We don't have to mark any tick marks because we are doing corner to corner at this point. Hold on, I'm thinking this through. Hold please. I'm thinking it through before. I believe we are doing corner to corner. Let me do a scrap piece really quick. Hold on just one second, guys. I want to make sure that I did this correctly and making sure I'm not straying you far. I just want to see what it looks like when I do corner to corner. I'm not sure if I have to line that up or not. Yes, okay. Okay, so 3 3/4 by 5, corner to corner. Wanted to make sure that that made sense. So you're going to take the one that was in your right hand. That's the one that we're going to be using. And now we're going to layer it up again on our pool party. And this piece is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, corner to corner. We're going to be using the one that's on our right hand. See how it's going to be layering up like so. And you can save this piece and make another one. So save the triangle pieces that you're literally cutting in half. And then our designer paper, our contrast one, 3 by 4 1/4, corner to corner. I know it's a lot of cutting at first, but once you have it down, it goes really, really, really easy. So there is our large triangle. So now we're going to be working on the smaller triangle. So the piece that we originally cut off from the front of the card base, we're going to be using that. And then we're coming in with our next layer, which is our pool party. And this is 1 3/4 by 5. And we are going to do, again, tip to tip angle cut. Here we go. And that's going to layer on so. And then our last piece that we are cutting, angle to angle. Let me see what piece. I think I like that piece. Angle to angle. Making sure that's up. Hold that down. Get that back in the track. I'm going to hold that down with my finger. There we go. And then we have this piece right here. Ooh, that's even pretty too. Hold on, let's see which one I want to use. I don't know. I don't know, I think I might want to do this piece. I think I'm going to go with this piece, the one that has more of the pink, to pull in more of the pink of the card. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so now all of our cutting is done. Now we can start assembling. Oh, thank you, Peggy. I appreciate the compliment. That really means a lot. I wanted to kind of like write it out how my brain saw it. So I always like to take things that are a little bit more challenging and make it to where it makes sense for my brain. I'm going to erase that pencil mark, making sure that all of your pencil marks are all done. So now we'll go ahead and start assembling our card. Okay, just like that. Put my pencil away. And then layer these up really nicely, leaving little borders. So that is the inside of our card, and see how that lines up really nicely and covers that nicely. So that is perfect. We'll leave this for any writing. So let's go ahead and start layering up the outside piece here. So we have our pool party right like so. And then our designer paper is going to be adhered just like that. I want to make sure I leave a nice border. That looks good. You liked the one with the pink flower too. I thought it made more sense to maybe bring in that pink because that's what was shown on the first design. So I'm glad our same brains are thinking alike again, Jenny. Okay, and this is what it looks like so far. Now we're going to start building up our triangles. Let's layer that up. And like I said, you can take the other triangles and make another card out of it. So the key part is where you're lining it up at the 2-inch mark and then cutting at an angle is the inside basic white piece and then the 2 front layer pieces. Anytime you had that flat and then an angle, that's where you line it up at the 2-inch mark. Otherwise, you are cutting from corner to corner. Oh, did you see what I did? Okay, well that was fun. I put the, hold please, I need to cut a new piece of paper. Were you guys yelling at me that I put the adhesive on the wrong side? So let me get a piece of designer paper again. It's 3 by 4 1/4. You see that? Mm-hmm. It's like at least I messed up on the gluing part of it and not the cutting part of it. Saw that, right? Okay, let's put the glue on the right side. There we go. And then we are going to, let's go ahead and finish gluing this triangle piece. And then we'll adhere it to the front of the cards. That. I'm so glad you like it, Miss Amy. Welcome in, my beautiful friend. Amy and I have been making cards together for 22 2 years, 23 years. She's the one that introduced me into this beautiful world of card making. So thank you, Miss Amy, for being here. I appreciate you. So now we're going to be adding adhesive basically just to this lower half of our triangle, leaving the top part open because it overhangs like so. So if you were to go all the way to the top and close that, it would get stuck to the card. So we're going to take the top left-hand corner of the triangle and line it up with the corner part of where the card opens up. That's just a little bit off. I'm gonna have to check my dimensions on that. I might have to cut the tip off just a little bit. You don't want it to overhang the top. I am going to have to double check those dimensions again, my friends. I apologize. So this is going to hang off just a little bit. I will have the proper dimensions on my blog post because that's not supposed to overhang. So I will double check that large triangle piece and get back to you on that piece. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and finish up the card. I'm going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals just to the bottom half of the card. Oh, I love you too, Amy. You do. Absolutely do. So I apologize, my friends. That triangle, the larger triangle piece is off. So I'm going to make sure that I have the right sizes and dimensions on that. I must have typed up my notes wrong. So we're going to pretend that that is not overhanging like that. But you guys get the complete gist of it. And I'll make a note in the blog post as well. So that way, if you happen to see this and are writing this down before you see the blog post tomorrow, definitely we'll have the right measurements. So there is that. So we have what our fan is going to look like. Now we're going to come in with our sentiment, which is Season's Greetings. And again, coming from the traditional labels, Season's Greetings. You could do Sending Love and Joy. In fact, maybe I'll do that just so I have another. Oh, we'll do Season's Greetings because this one's going to have a different one. I'll create more and have different sentiments. Okay. Season's Greetings. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, let's add our sentiments. Since this is already popped up, I'm going to actually adhere that flat to the front like so. And then we're going to finish up with the sparkling gems or sparkling sequins. The traditional sparkling sequins is the official name of it. And since we have the gold, we can go ahead and pull the gold pieces. Okay. Minus the corner there. There we have it, my friends. There is our fan fold. And again, I apologize for the large triangle piece. I will make sure that all of the sizes and dimensions are correct on the blog post. But in the meantime, that will do it for me today. Now, please be sure to head over to Jenny's live today at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at Stampin' with Jen. That's 2 N's in Stampin' and 2 N's in Jen. She's going to be creating a beautiful another Christmas fun fold for us. Cannot wait to try that one out. That is definitely going in my fun fold arsenal. And again, she'll be on live at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on Facebook. But thank you all for joining me today, and I will see you all next time for more creative fun. Bye, everyone.